Hey, wanted to make this post because I've been so forward about all of my medical journey pretty much up until this point. And I did that mostly because it helps me process. It helps me feel more real when I share what's going on. Because so much of it is so mind-blowing. So I waited this time to talk about this just because it didn't feel real. I didn't really want it to feel real, and just a lot more to think about. But it's been about a year, almost exactly a year, since I first was sick. Before that, I totally thought I was healthy. And now they think that, well, the doctors know that I have cancer in my lymph nodes. And it sounds so crazy to even believe because I just went through so much with my bone marrow. But doctors do think that having your immune system suppressed can allow cancer to grow in other parts of your body, which may have led to this, but there's not enough data to really be conclusive on that. But so I apparently have cancer. We're not sure where it's coming from yet. It is in my lymph nodes. We most likely think it's from my thyroid, which is basically best case scenario. Actually, papillary thyroid cancer is very treatable. Like 99% of people live same lifespan. Basically, you just get surgery, you remove it, you get medicine, and it's handled. And that's what the doctors are all leaning towards. So that is kind of what we're hoping for. But it wasn't, the last biopsy wasn't conclusive on what it is. So I requested a second biopsy to see if we can get any more information before we remove my thyroid, which, the surgeons, doctors were ready to just remove my thyroid and then see. But I would prefer to know a little more, so that's kind of why I'm a little clenched up. They take samples from your neck of my lymph node and thyroid, and they numb it, and they just stick these needles in your neck. And this time they took core samples where they take a bigger needle, and there's this really aggressive clicking noise when they kind of clasp a sample from your neck and pull it out. And again, I just really hate all these processes with needles and blood and yeah, so that happened today. pretty still shook about it. But yeah, I just felt like I've been so forward with this whole journey, and it makes me feel more normalized to share it. So thanks for listening to all these posts. So that was my soap opera for the day. My mind is blown about the news, the chances. This is completely unrelated, apparently, or, indefinitively related to all of the blood issues I went through for almost 9 months, and now I have cancer. What the heck? So I've been pretty disheartened, but still hopeful that it will all be handled and done and over with in the next few months. I'm tired and pissed and drained over so many things. I mean, who wants to have cancer? But I keep telling myself that it will be handled shortly with surgery and iodine radiation, which are not necessarily the worst things ever. To note, 11 months after a blood test, I'm still fighting insurance, and they're saying it wasn't medically needed, and it's a $4,200 bill, so hoping it get covered. Also to note, this year I narrowly avoided spleen removal when they thought I had ITP, stem cell transplants when they thought I had a severe aplastic anemia, liver surgery when I had blood clots in my hepatic vein, but finally the surgeons will get to cut me thyroid and lymph node removal in 8 days. pretty anxious, but waiting for it to just be over with. Today is the surgery day. Pre-operation photo, post-operation photo. At this point, pretty high on a lot of pain meds. It was about 6 hours of being under anesthesia. Day after, less high on pain meds, less happy, really actually quite miserable. A lot of pain. Heading home soon from the hospital. I was kept overnight, but I'll be resting for a few weeks now without working. Recap of the last 5 days. Sleeping with a cat cuddle. Really super amazingly, like within the first minute I came home, this cat did not leave me, you know, kind of sniffing my scar and cuddling with me. Because I had my lymph nodes removed, I had like this little drain that they stitched into me. It was kind of like a suction that would take any fluid out if there was any coming out of my lymph nodes. So I had to make sure it was suctioned throughout the day. So this was actually, to note, 5 hours of anesthesia really wiped me out. Very exhausted and drained. Talking to, he would call my mom to give updates throughout the procedure. It was a 4.5-hour surgery, basically where they had like my neck just open. And it's pretty delicate surgery to make sure they don't cut your vocal cords or any nerves. So glad he took his time and that it went well, but you know, that much anesthesia, I was just out of it for weeks. You know, I couldn't talk, I couldn't move. I needed to be at my family's house. I would not have been able to take care of myself. Feeling a bit like Sally, so cancer be gone. The biopsy from the surgery confirmed that there were 2 tumors on my thyroid, and 3 of the 23 lymph nodes had cancer. Hopefully it's all gone, but iodine radiation will begin in a couple months just to get anything that could be residually left. How do you keep your head on straight during these trying times? Glue. Actually, for my scar, they didn't give me staples or stitches or anything. I just had this really see-through, clear glue. But can you tell that I'm running low on my opioids? You know, as the scar, I did have a lot of anxiety about, you know, the scar and just, you know, blood and having, you know, coming apart or what it would look with the scar and everything. And the dog, you know, surprisingly, of all the pets, the dog just didn't understand. All she wanted to do was play and play and play. Whereas, you know, the cats were the ones that were like really comforting. But finally, when I could go into my own room and wasn't sitting in the living room, the dog came to sit on top of me. And still just not that comforting of a dog, I guess. But because of the cancer, I marked a high medical priority to get the COVID vaccine. My hair's pretty messy. This is actually the worst I think my hair has ever been. There's no hair tie in it. It's just stuck like together like this. One month after surgery, still tired a lot, scar is still strong, but getting to move around a little more, getting to talk a little more. Because I had my entire thyroid removed, I am on synthetic hormones. Too little means weight gain and extreme tiredness. Too much means insomnia and anxiety. Really, I feel like I have both. Pretty beat up. A lot of anxiety, a lot of tiredness, but hopefully we'll get the levels better in a week or so. So I survived my first, you know, pretty intense surgery. That was harder than I thought it would be. But thanks for watching, and check back next week for the next video.